Welcome to this deep dive. Today, we're going to be exploring the future of IT roles.
In a world?
Yeah, in a world increasingly shaped by AI.
Mm-hmm.
You sent us a ton of sources, conference talks, research papers, analyst reports,
Yeah,
and it's clear AI is changing the game, especially when it comes to your question about the future of IT jobs.
absolutely.
Uh,
What's fascinating to me is the speed and scope of this shift.
yeah,
We're not just talking about automating a few tasks here and there. We're seeing AI reshape entire job descriptions,
right.
the skills needed to succeed, and even the balance of power between these tech companies and individual developers.
Okay, let's unpack this.
Okay.
Where should we begin?
Well, you highlighted a concern about the impact on 8 specifically.
Mm-hmm.
And your sources paint a really complex picture.
Yeah,
Some roles are at higher risk of automation,
right.
while others are actually becoming more valuable.
Okay,
So let's start by understanding those trends.
okay.
Maybe we can use the California IT Roles 2025 report you provided.
Yeah, this report is fascinating.
Yeah.
It breaks down the automation potential for a range of IT positions and even includes estimated salaries.
And what's striking is that the roles most likely to be impacted by automation are those involving a lot of repetitive tasks.
Okay.
The Gemini report estimates that by 2025, 40% of help desk technician tasks could be automated through things like AI-powered chatbots.
Wow.
And data analysts are seeing tasks like data cleaning and visualization become increasingly automated.
So that makes sense.
Hmm,
But the report also highlights roles that are likely to remain in high demand, right?
absolutely. These are the roles where human expertise is still crucial.
Right.
Things like strategic thinking,
Mm-hmm.
complex problem solving, and leadership. Cybersecurity leadership, for example, is estimated to have only about 10% of its tasks susceptible to automation.
Oh, really? Why is that?
Well,
Cybersecurity seems like a field that would be ripe for AI intervention.
because cybersecurity isn't just about running scans or configuring firewalls,
Mm-hmm.
it's about anticipating threats, developing strategies, and leading teams.
Right.
All things that require uniquely human skills.
So for those in cybersecurity, it's even more important to develop those high-level skills then?
Exactly.
Okay.
And the same goes for other strategic IT roles like Chief Technology Officer or CTO
Mm-hmm.
and Cloud Architect.
Right.
These are positions where AI can be a powerful tool,
Yeah.
but ultimately it's human vision and expertise that guides the way.
It's interesting that even though AI is capable of generating code and automating certain tasks,
Right.
it seems the real value comes from knowing how to use AI effectively
Yeah.
rather than simply being replaced by it.
I think that's a key takeaway for anyone in it right now.
Yeah,
The IT professionals of the future won't necessarily be the ones who can write the most complex algorithms.
right.
It'll be the ones who can leverage AI tools to solve business problems, analyze data, and make strategic decisions.
Hmm.
Think of it as working in partnership with AI,
Right.
not being replaced by it.
So what kind of skills will be most valuable in this AI-powered IT world?
Mm.
The report mentions some specific areas, right?
Your sources provide a pretty clear roadmap here.
Okay.
In addition to those core human skills we talked about, leadership, problem solving, strategic thinking,
Mm-hmm.
there's a growing demand for specific technical abilities as well.
Like what?
Well, unsurprisingly, expertise in AI and machine learning is at the top of the list.
Makes sense.
But it goes beyond just understanding the algorithms.
Yeah.
It's about knowing how to apply AI to real-world IT challenges.
Right.
Things like automating workflows, optimizing infrastructure, and even developing AI-powered security solutions.
So IT professionals are going to need to become AI specialists as well.
Not necessarily specialists in the sense of being able to build AI models from scratch,
Okay.
but they will need to understand how AI works,
Hmm.
how to integrate it into existing systems,
Right.
and how to interpret the results.
Okay.
Think of it as being fluent in AI rather than being an AI developer.
Okay. That feels a lot less daunting than having to go back to school for a whole new degree.
It should,
Yeah.
because there are tons of resources out there for developing these skills, from online courses to boot camps to university programs.
Right.
The key is to embrace continuous learning
Yeah.
and adapt to the evolving demands of the field.
Okay.
The California IT Roles 2025 report actually highlighted the importance of non-technical skills as well.
Oh, this is where things get really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
As AI takes over more of the routine technical tasks,
Yeah.
the human element of it becomes even more important.
Yeah, in what way?
Well, think about communication skills.
Okay.
You're going to need to be able to explain complex AI concepts to non-technical colleagues,
Right.
clients, or even executives.
And that takes more than just knowing the technical jargon. It's
That's it.
about translating technical insights into actionable business strategies,
Hmm.
persuading stakeholders to invest in AI initiatives,
Right.
and even addressing potential concerns that might arise from using AI in certain ways.
It seems like emotional intelligence is becoming a key skill for IT professionals as well.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Being able to understand and manage your own emotions as well as the emotions of others is
Mm.
crucial in an environment where AI is playing an increasingly important role.
Right.
It's about building trust, navigating complex team dynamics,
Yeah.
and leading with empathy, all things that machines aren't particularly good at.
So in a nutshell, the future of IT jobs is all about finding that sweet spot between human ingenuity and AI capabilities.
That's a great way to put it.
Okay.
It's about leveraging AI as a tool to augment and empower human skills
Hmm.
rather than seeing it as a threat.
Right.
And that brings up another interesting point from the AI Engineer Summit 2025 talks you shared,
Off I go.
the idea of the AIV League.
Ah, yes. This is where the landscape of the IT industry itself starts to shift. So what exactly is the AIV League?
It refers to a new group of companies that are emerging as leaders in the AI space,
Okay.
often pulling talent away from traditional tech giants like Google, Meta, and Apple.
Interesting. Which companies are we talking about here?
The specific companies mentioned in the summit were Scale AI, Hugging Face,
Hmm.
Weights and Biases, and a few others.
Got it.
What they all have in common is a laser focus on AI development
Uh-huh.
and a culture that attracts top AI talent.
Okay.
The summit talk suggested this is driven by factors like the agility of these smaller companies
Right.
and their willingness to take risks on cutting-edge AI research.
So what does this shift mean for job seekers in IT?
It means there are new opportunity opening up outside the traditional big tech companies.
Hmm.
These AIV League companies are often looking for a diverse range of skills,
Okay.
from software engineering to data science to product management, and they're willing to pay top dollar for the right talent.
So the job market for IT professionals is expanding in a way.
Exactly. And it's not just about the number of jobs available, it's
Hmm.
about the types of roles and the kind of work being done.
Right.
We're seeing a move away from traditional hierarchical structures to more agile collaborative teams where
Mhm.
individuals have more autonomy and ownership over their work.
And this shift is being driven, at least in part, by the rise of AI.
Absolutely.
Okay.
AI is changing the game in terms of how we work, how we solve problems, and how we build products.
Hmm.
And those changes are rippling through the entire IT industry, creating new opportunities and challenges for everyone involved.
One of the biggest changes mentioned in the AI Engineer Summit 2025 talks was the declining importance of traditional academic credentials.
This is a fascinating trend.
Yeah, in the past, getting a PhD from a prestigious university was almost a prerequisite for landing a top AI job,
Right.
but that's no longer the case.
Not necessarily.
Okay.
The summit cited some pretty surprising statistics.
Okay.
In 2015, 27% of engineer hires at AI startups came from top schools, and 16% had PhDs.
Hmm.
By 2023, those numbers had plummeted to 15% and 7%, respectively.
Wow, that's a huge drop.
It is, and it reflects a growing recognition that real-world AI experience often trumps academic credentials.
Okay.
Companies are realizing that the skills needed to build and deploy AI systems are often developed through hands-on projects,
Hmm.
open source contributions, and even self-directed learning.
So a college degree is no longer a requirement for an AI career.
It's not that a degree is irrelevant.
Yeah.
It's no longer the be-all and end-all.
Right.
What matters more is your ability to demonstrate practical AI skills and a deep understanding of how to apply AI to real-world problems.
So that's great news for anyone who might not have the traditional academic background,
Mm-hmm.
but is passionate about AI.
Exactly. It means the field is becoming more accessible to people from diverse backgrounds, which ultimately leads to a richer and more innovative AI ecosystem.
Right.
It also means that continuous learning and upskilling are more important than ever before,
Yeah.
no matter where you are in your career.
And speaking of continuous learning, we can't talk about the future of it without addressing generative AI.
Generative AI.
Yes, this seems to be the area where the pace of innovation is truly mind-boggling.
It is, and it's having a ripple effect across all areas of it.
Right.
We've already seen how Tools like ChatGPT and Dolly are changing the way we write,
Yeah,
create images, and even code.
right,
But generative AI isn't just about creating cool images or writing marketing copy.
right.
It's fundamentally changing how we approach software development,
Mm-hmm.
data analysis, and even cybersecurity.
And now we're starting to see these generative AI tools being used in even more innovative ways, right?
Absolutely. The AI Engineers Summit 2025 talks highlighted some incredible examples.
Like what?
NVIDIA's CEO, Jensen Huang, talked about how generative AI is being used to create realistic virtual worlds for video game development.
Which makes sense given NVIDIA's expertise in graphics processing.
Exactly, but it goes beyond gaming.
Okay.
Generative AI is also being used to optimize workflows,
Hmm.
generate synthetic data for training AI models, and even create educational tools for children.
There was a fascinating project mentioned in the summit called CNA Mates.
Yes, this project uses Scratch, a visual programming language, to teach kids about AI concepts through playful interactions with AI-powered characters.
Wow.
It's a great example of how generative AI can be used to make complex topics accessible and engaging for a younger audience.
So we're going from a world where AI was the domain of a few specialized engineers.
To a world where AI is becoming a tool for everyone.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
There was another project mentioned in the summit that really captured this idea.
Okay.
The Windsurf project.
Ah, yes, Windsurf.
Yes.
This project aims to make AI tools as ubiquitous and intuitive as web browsers.
Wow.
Imagine having an AI assistant that understands your context, anticipates your needs, and helps you complete tasks effortlessly, all within your existing workflow.
That sounds almost like magic.
It kind of is.
Yeah.
But the key here is that this magic is becoming increasingly accessible to everyone, not just a select few.
Right.
And that has huge implications for the future of it and really for the future of work in general.
So it seems like the key takeaway here is that AI is no longer something to be feared,
Right.
but rather a tool to be embraced and leveraged.
Exactly.
Okay.
And the IT professionals who are most successful in the coming years will be the ones who can adapt to this new reality,
Mm-hmm.
learn how to work effectively alongside AI,
Yeah.
and constantly push the boundaries of what's possible with this incredible technology.
Before we move on, I wanted to touch on something you mentioned earlier.
Okay.
The idea of AI generating reports and analysis.
Mm-hmm.
You pointed out that one of the documents, California IT Roles 2025, was prepared entirely by ChatGPT.
It's remarkable, isn't it? While both the ChatGPT generated report and the one from Grok 3 highlight the same job roles, the fact that AI can now synthesize information and present it in a coherent, informative way is a testament to how far this technology has come.
Right.
This could have a significant impact on how we consume information and make decisions in the future.
It definitely makes you wonder,
Yeah.
what else can AI do that we haven't even thought of yet?
That's the exciting part. We're just scratching the surface of what's possible with AI.
Right.
And as these tools become more powerful and accessible, the opportunities for innovation are truly limitless.
But before we get ahead of ourselves,
Yeah.
let's move on to part 2 of this deep dive,
Okay.
where we'll examine another key aspect of your question,
Okay.
the potential impact of AI on the IT industry itself.
Sounds good.
So we've spent a lot of time talking about how specific IT roles might be impacted by AI,
Yeah.
but what about the overall structure of the industry itself? What kind of changes are we likely to see there?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And one that your sources touch on in several interesting ways.
Okay.
One key trend we see emerging is a shift in the balance of power within the tech industry.
Can you elaborate on that?
Sure. Traditionally, the big tech giants companies like Google, Meta, Apple have held a lot of sway in terms of dictating trends, setting salaries,
Right.
and attracting top talent.
Yeah.
But as AI becomes more central to technological development,
Hmm.
we're seeing a new group of companies rise to prominence.
Okay.
The AIV League, as it was called in the AI Engineers Summit 2025 talks.
You mentioned the AIV League earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Did you remind us who they are?
Absolutely. These are companies like Scale AI Hugging Face
Mm-hmm.
and Weights and Biases, who are laser focused on developing and deploying cutting-edge AI solutions.
Okay.
They're attracting top AI talent, often away from those traditional tech giants,
Right.
and they're setting the pace in terms of AI innovation.
So why are they able to pull talent away from the big names?
There are a few factors at play.
Okay.
One is that these smaller companies are often more agile
Right.
and less bureaucratic,
Mm-hmm.
which can be appealing to people who want to work on the bleeding edge of AI development.
So they're not bogged down by legacy systems or
Right.
corporate red tape.
Exactly. And because they're often working on very specific AI problems,
Mm-hmm.
they can offer competitive salaries and benefits that
Oh.
rival or even surpass what
Wow.
big tech companies can offer.
So what does this shift in power mean for the future of IT jobs?
It means that there are more opportunities for skilled IT professionals outside of the traditional big tech companies.
Okay.
These AIV League companies are hungry for talent,
Mm-hmm.
and they're looking for a diverse range of skills from software engineering and data science
Right.
to product management and design.
That's good news for those looking to break into the AI field
Yeah.
or those who are looking for a change of pace from the big tech environment.
It definitely creates more options
Yeah.
and potentially more competition as well.
Right.
And it highlights another interesting trend we see emerging, the changing nature of work itself.
What do you mean by that?
Well, as AI takes on more routine tasks,
Mhm.
it's freeing up human workers to focus on higher level,
Yeah.
more creative and strategic work.
So instead of spending our days writing code or debugging systems, we'll be focused on things like problem solving, innovation, and collaboration.
Exactly. And that means that the skills needed to thrive in this new world of work are changing too.
We've already touched on some of those skills like communication and emotional intelligence,
Right.
but are there any others that stand out?
One that comes up repeatedly in your sources is the importance of adaptability and
Okay.
continuous learning.
Mm.
The IT landscape is evolving so rapidly that
Yeah.
the skills you have today might be outdated tomorrow.
So it's not enough to just get a degree or certification and call it a day.
Exactly. You need to be constantly learning, upskilling, and
Yeah.
adapting to the changing demands of the industry.
That can feel overwhelming.
It can be.
Where do you begin?
The good news is that there are more resources available than ever before,
Okay.
from online courses and boot camps to open source projects and hackathons.
Right.
There are countless ways to stay ahead of the curve and develop the skills you need to succeed.
That's encouraging,
Mm-hmm.
but it also sounds like job security, and it might be a thing of the past.
It's true that job security, as we traditionally understand it, is changing.
Okay.
But I wouldn't say it's a thing of the past.
Right.
It's more about shifting your mindset from job security to career security.
What's the difference?
Job security is about holding on to a specific job title or position. Career security is about having the skills and adaptability to navigate the changing job market and create opportunities for yourself.
So instead of clinging to a specific role,
Right.
we need to focus on developing a broader skill set
Mm-hmm.
that can be applied to a variety of roles and industries.
Precisely. And that brings us back to the idea of AI as a tool for empowerment.
How so?
Well, AI can be used to automate those routine, repetitive tasks that often bog us down and free us up to focus on more creative,
Right.
strategic, and fulfilling work.
You mentioned Jensen Huang's vision of AI making us superhuman.
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty bold claim.
It is.
Do you think it's realistic?
I think it has the potential to be realistic.
Okay.
Of course, there are challenges and limitations to overcome. The AI Engineers Summit 2025, Agent Engineering talks highlight some of those challenges, especially in areas like reasoning and ethical decision-making.
Right.
But researchers are actively working on improving AI's capabilities in these areas.
So while AI might not be ready to take over the world just yet,
Right.
it's certainly a tool that has the potential to transform the way we work and live for the better.
Exactly. And it's a tool that's becoming increasingly accessible to everyone, not just a select few.
Right.
Remember the windsurf project we talked about earlier?
The one that aims to make AI tools as easy to use as web browsers.
Yes. That project, along with others like it, are paving the way for a future where AI is integrated into every aspect of our lives,
Wow.
both professional and personal.
And as AI becomes more ubiquitous, it's going to have a profound impact on the IT industry as well.
Absolutely.
We've already touched on some of those impacts, like the rise of the AIV League and the changing nature of work. But are there any other significant changes we should be aware of?
One that comes to mind is the increasing importance of data.
Okay.
As AI models become more sophisticated, they require vast amounts of data to train and operate effectively.
So data is becoming the new oil, as they say.
In many ways, yes.
Okay.
Companies that have access to large, high-quality data sets are going to have a significant advantage in the AI-powered economy.
Does that mean that data scientists and data engineers are going to be the most sought-after IT professionals in the future?
They'll certainly be in high demand.
Okay.
But I think the real key will be understanding how to leverage data effectively, regardless of your specific role.
Right.
Whether you're a software engineer,
Yeah.
a cybersecurity analyst,
Yeah.
or a project manager,
Right.
you're going to need to be able to work with data, analyze data, and
Okay.
make data-driven decisions.
It sounds like data literacy is going to be a crucial skill for everyone in the future, not just those in technical roles.
I think that's a safe bet, and it highlights another important point.
Okay.
The need for collaboration and cross-functional teams. As AI becomes more integrated into every aspect of business,
Right.
it's going to be essential for IT professionals to be able to work effectively with people from different departments and backgrounds.
So silos are out, collaboration is in...
That's the general trend, yes.
Okay.
And it's not just about collaborating with people within your own organization.
Right.
We're also seeing a growing emphasis on open source development and community involvement in the AI field.
Why is that?
Well, there's a recognition that AI is a technology that has the potential to benefit all of humanity,
Okay.
and to realize that potential we need to share knowledge, collaborate on projects,
Right.
and ensure that the benefits of AI are widely accessible.
That makes sense. But it also seems like there's a tension between the open source ethos
Yeah.
and the profit-driven motives of many tech companies.
Absolutely. There's a lot of debate about the role of open source in AI development. There are valid arguments on both sides.
Right.
But I think it's safe to say that open source will continue to play a significant role in shaping the future of AI, even as commercial interests grow.
So, as we wrap up part 2 of this deep dive,
Okay.
what are the key takeaways for our listener? What should they be thinking about as they navigate their own career in this AI-powered world?
I think the most important takeaway is that the future of it is not predetermined.
Okay.
It's being shaped right now by the choices we make as individuals, as companies, and as a society.
That sounds empowering, but also a bit daunting.
It can be both.
Yeah.
But I think it's important to remember that we all have a role to play in shaping this future.
And how do we do that? What are some practical steps our listener can take to ensure they're prepared for this AI-driven future?
Well, first and foremost, embrace change.
Okay.
Don't be afraid of AI. Learn how to use it to your advantage.
So continuous learning is key.
Absolutely. Stay curious,
Yeah.
explore new technologies, and never stop learning.
Any other advice?
Be adaptable.
Okay.
The IT landscape is constantly evolving, so you need to be able to pivot and adjust your skills as needed.
Don't be afraid to try new things and step outside your comfort zone.
Exactly. And finally, don't underestimate the importance of networking and building relationships.
Okay.
Connect with other IT professionals, attend industry events, and get involved in open source projects.
So the more connected you are, the better prepared you'll be to navigate the changing landscape of the IT industry.
Well said. And on that note, I think it's time to move on to part 3 of this deep dive,
Okay.
where we'll explore some specific strategies and resources
Right?
that our listener can use to thrive in this AI-powered world.
We've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive,
Yeah,
exploring the evolving landscape of IT jobs in the age of AI.
we have.
And it's clear that the future holds both challenges and exciting opportunities for IT professionals like you.
Absolutely. So let's shift gears now and focus on what you can do
Okay?
to not just survive, but thrive in this AI-powered world.
Right?
You sent in a lot of questions about specific strategies and resources.
Yeah.
So let's dive into those.
Sounds good. Where should we start?
Well, one of the most common questions we hear from IT professionals is, how do I future-proof my career?
It's a valid concern. With AI automating more and more tasks, it's natural to wonder what skills will be in demand in the future
Yeah.
and how you can acquire those skills.
Exactly. So first and foremost, I'd say focus on developing those uniquely human skills that AI can't replicate.
Okay.
Things like creativity, critical thinking, problem solving, and communication.
Those are skills that will always be valuable regardless of what technology comes along.
Absolutely. And there's skills that you can start developing today. There are tons of resources available online and offline to help you hone these skills.
For example, you could take online courses on critical thinking
Right.
or join a public speaking group to improve your communication skills.
Great examples. And don't underestimate the value of real-world experience.
Mm-hmm.
Look for opportunities to apply these skills in your current role or through side projects.
Yeah, that's a great point. It's one thing to learn about these skills in theory, but it's another thing entirely to put them into practice.
Exactly. And speaking of putting things into practice, another key piece of advice is to get hands-on experience with AI tools and technologies.
Okay,
Even if you're not an AI developer,
right.
you should at least have a basic understanding of how AI works and how it can be used to solve real-world problems.
So there are so many free and low-cost resources available to help you get started with AI, from online courses and tutorials to open source projects and community.
Absolutely.
One resource you specifically asked about was the AI Engineer Summit 2025.
Okay.
I'm wondering if there are recordings of the talks available online.
Actually, several of the presentations were recorded and are available on the summit's website.
That's great to know. The summit covered a wide range of topics,
Yeah,
from the technical aspects of AI development to the ethical and societal implications.
it did.
And it featured presentations from some of the leading experts in the field.
Exactly. So it's a valuable resource for anyone who wants to learn more about AI,
Right.
regardless of their current level of expertise.
Okay, it sounds like the summit also highlighted the importance of networking and building relationships in the AI community.
Absolutely. One of the key takeaways from the summit was that the future of AI is not something we create in isolation.
Right.
It's something we build together through collaboration,
Yeah.
knowledge sharing, and a shared commitment to using AI for good.
And that's where events like the AI Engineer Summit come in. They provide a platform for people to connect,
Yeah.
learn from each other,
Right.
and collaborate on projects.
Exactly.
Another resource you specifically mentioned was the Windsurf project.
Okay.
I'm curious to learn more about how that project is progressing.
Windsurf is still in its early stages of development, but it's already generating a lot of buzz in the AI community.
So what's the latest?
The goal of the project is to create a universal AI platform that's as easy to use as a web browser
Wow.
and as accessible to everyone, regardless of their technical skills.
That's ambitious.
Exactly. The team behind Windsurf believes that AI has the potential to empower everyone, and they're working to make that vision a reality.
That's an inspiring goal. It sounds like Windsurf could have a significant impact on the future of it.
It certainly has the potential to do so. If Windsurf is successful,
Yeah,
it could democratize access to AI tools and technologies,
right.
making it possible for anyone to leverage the power of AI.
So it's definitely a project worth keeping an eye on.
Absolutely. And speaking of keeping an eye on things, another important piece of advice is to stay up to date on the latest trends and developments in the AI field.
That makes sense. The field is evolving so rapidly
Yeah,
that it's easy to fall behind if you're not paying attention.
it is.
So how do you stay ahead of the curve?
There are several ways you can subscribe to industry newsletters and blogs,
Right.
follow thought leaders on social media, and attend conferences and webinars.
Right.
And don't be afraid to experiment with new AI tools and technologies yourself.
Yeah,
The best way to learn is by doing.
that's great advice. So as we wrap up this deep dive,
Okay.
what's the one key message you want to leave our listener with?
I'd say embrace the change. AI is here to stay, and it's going to continue to transform the IT industry in profound ways.
Right.
But instead of fearing the change,
Yeah.
see it as an opportunity to learn, grow, and create a more fulfilling and impactful career for yourself.
The future of it is bright for those who are willing to adapt,
Absolutely.
learn, and embrace the power of AI.
I completely agree. Thanks for diving deep with us today.
Of course.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible with AI.
And remember, the future is what we make it.
Well said.